One summer, a girl moved into the house next door. She lived with her mother, and they were very poor. Her father had left them. She was new in town. She found it hard to adjust. Though we both came from different backgrounds, she and I, we got to be the best of friends. We weren't very close at first, but I often visited her. I visited her every night, and we would talk. Now, the moment I laid eyes on her, I knew she was the perfect girl for me. Unfortunately, she didn't feel the same way. See, she was attracted to boys who were handsome and confident. It was clear that I was not her type. She didn't have any friends, none of her own really to talk to, so she confided in me. Now, mostly she would complain about her life, telling me how her mother hit her, how the girls in her class were mean to her, they excluded her. She also told me about this boy she had a crush on. Very popular guy, popular with all the girls in school. Now, as she talked about her problems, I just sat there and I listened. Now, one day, she stopped coming to school. As it turns out, this was because she was being bullied. Now, she told me that one of the popular girls in school had found out she had a crush on her boyfriend, and those mean girls would bully her every time they saw her. She said they even spread these horrible rumors about her. All the classmates, everyone in school knew these disgusting things about her. They made her life a living nightmare. But I kept quiet and I listened as she vented her problems. Her behavior began to change. Now, she stayed out all hours of the night. She started smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, and I heard rumors that she was doing drugs too. She fell in with a very bad crowd, had even been arrested by the police once. Her home life, I could see, was getting worse and worse. She'd often fight with her mother in the middle of the night. All the girls in school hated her. Someone sprayed some graffiti all over her house, calling her horrible names, saying disgusting things about her. Somebody even killed her pet and stuffed it in the mailbox. Her cat, her precious cat. Now, eventually, she dropped out of high school. She became withdrawn. She locked into herself. She would never leave her bedroom. She even stopped speaking to her mom. She went days without eating. She was pale and sickly. She looked terrible. And she would only come out maybe to use the restroom or at night when her mother was asleep. She had a very miserable life. Now, I went to see her for the first time in a long time, and she refused to come out to see me. I yelled through her keyhole, "Please, please, I'm here, I'm your friend, you can talk to me." She refused to answer. Her mother gave me a bowl of soup, told me to take it upstairs to her. This day I caught a glimpse of her when she opened her door to take it. She was pale, looked like one of those Twilight vampires. She had haggard. She was emaciated. She looked horrible, almost like a wet rag that had been wrung out. But I went to see her every day. After a while, she began talking to me through the door. She told me how she was always fighting with her mom, about all her old friends and how they'd forgotten about her. She told me how she had fallen in with that bad crowd and went with them out nights, stealing, doing drugs, getting into trouble. She was even caught shoplifting by the police. She told me she had a criminal record. She also told me about how her mother tried to help her at first, but when she wouldn't listen, her mother flew into this rage and would beat her. Her life had become unbearable. She wanted to die. She told me she had tried to commit suicide many times by slitting her wrist. And just like the old days, she continued to talk on, and I just listened. Whenever she asked for my opinion, I shrugged or made some general remark. Now, as time went by, her mood changed. She started to be a little bit more happy. Her mood brightened. She even decided to come out of her room. It seemed like things were getting better, and the future was looking good. Now, her mother broke down in tears and thanked me every day. Thanked me for getting her daughter out of that room, bringing her back to her regular self. Now, one day, she went to the roof of an old apartment building in the neighborhood and jumped off. Now, the building wasn't very high, and she landed in the shrubbery, and that was probably what saved her life. However, she did suffer a major injury and was now paralyzed from the neck down. The doctor said she would spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair. When she got out of the hospital, I went to see her. She was lying in bed, unable to move. She apologized to me over and over. She couldn't stop crying. She said she wished she didn't survive the fall and told me she was sorry for all the trouble she had caused me and her mother. I tried to soothe her. I tried to stop her from crying, but it's hard to comfort someone when they're laying down. I embraced her awkwardly. She was weeping so much her whole body was shaking. She couldn't even wipe away her own tears. Now, as I held her in my arms, I asked her to marry me. Really? Are you serious? Me? Really? She couldn't believe that anyone would want her. I had proposed to her several times before. She wouldn't accept. But she cried so hard, her tears ran dry. I tried to reassure her and I told her I wanted to marry her because I had always loved her. She was the perfect girl for me. She always had been. Even when she ignored me and didn't return my feelings, even when she was hanging out with the bad crowd, even when I had to listen to all of her stupid problems, even when she became so thin and was hiding in her room, even when I told the mean girl she wanted her boyfriend, even when I started spreading vile rumors about her to her classmates, even when I sprayed graffiti all over her house, even when I killed her cat and put it in her mailbox, even now that she is lying there in bed, small, weak, and unable to move, even now I still love her. You see, she is the perfect girl for me. Happy Halloween, everyone. This is my attempt at a Halloween spooky story. Not sure if this will be an annual thing or if this was just a one off, but thank you guys for listening in. Let me know what you thought. Was it interesting? Was it boring? Give me a little bit of feedback. Also, use the hashtag CBNPod when you're listening to this episode. If you'd like to get in touch with me, Twitter, CarefreeBlurred is the handle, CarefreeBlackNerd everywhere else, and email me at carefreeblacknerd@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening in to my spooky story. I hope you guys are having a safe Halloween, and this holiday season is about to get hectic. So enjoy this last quarter of 2021. Stay safe, love on each other, and stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay geeky, and stay safe. All right.